I call Mr. Michael Sperlinga, current member of the Bentley Board of Trustees and 1991 Bentley alumnus, to present Mr. Scott Blackman for conferral of his honorary degree. Scott A. Blackman, astute leader of business teams and impassioned champion of Olympic ideals, we're proud to confer upon you today the honorary degree Doctor of Commercial Science. Bringing people together is your strong suit. The U.S. Olympic Committee, which you arrived to lead in 2010, faced many challenges. As CEO, you brokered a landmark revenue-sharing agreement with the International Olympic Committee and restored faith in the USOC as a conduit for the life-changing power of sport. In 1982, with degrees from Dartmouth College and Stanford Law School, you touched down in sports and entertainment law. It was a rough and tumble career choice for a philosophy major, but you excelled in a 20-year career that included partnerships in 2 international law firms. Then as now, your signature skills are sharp analysis, shrewd decision-making, deep-rooted compassion, and genuine respect for all sides. At the USOC, you opened doors for gifted athletes who inspire a nation. Numerous corporate sponsors have stepped forward with significant support for our team. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Foundation, created under your watch, provides additional backing. Last year, it raised more than $7.5 million in direct support of Team USA. Their achievements at the Games are counted in precious metals. You also seed the dreams of future Olympians, advocating for partnerships with college athletic programs and for initiatives that promote children's health and participation in local sports. Your motivation is not medals, but a commitment to what is gained in their pursuit, the lessons learned and the joy discovered through effort and by a team or an individual. This pillar of the Olympic philosophy has no finer ambassador than you, and our graduates, no finer role model. Therefore, by virtue of the authority vested by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the University of Bentley's Board of Trustees, we confer upon you, Scott Blackman, the degree of Commercial Science, Doctorate Honoris Causa. We hold it both a huge pleasure and a huge honor to do so. Scott, here is your...
I now call upon Mr. Scott Blackman to deliver the commencement address.
I'm really hoping that the Doctor of Commercial Science degree is more useful to me than my philosophy degree was. Before I start, I just want to make sure you understand how lucky I think each of you are to have Dr. Larson, President Larson, lead you. She has turned out to be one of the most energetic people that we've encountered in the process of trying to decide which city should host the 2024 games, or at least be the U.S. candidate city. And I can't say enough good things about the level of positive energy that she brought to that dialogue. So thank you so much, President Larson. Thank you to the ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Trustees, and hello, Bentley, class of 2015. Congratulations on graduating, but just as importantly, congratulations on surviving the Bahamas trip, if you were one of the people. It's great that you all made it back safely. I'm honored to share this moment with you as you cross an important threshold in life's great adventure, and to offer you a few lessons learned from my journey. I don't have the opportunity very often to deliver commencement addresses, but every 2 years I do get a chance to speak to the United States Olympic team at the greatest moment of their young lives. And what's true for them as they're about to enter that Olympic stadium and compete with the best of the world is true for you today. No matter how long you live, no matter how far you travel, no matter how much you achieve, this day will always remain a milestone in your life, and not just for you, but for your family and friends, the people who helped you get this far. Since you've made it through Bentley, it's clear that you're already on the road to success. And it's not an exaggeration to say that the world is about to open up for you, to offer you a myriad of choices, opportunities beyond anything you can imagine today. And to paraphrase Jon Stewart, there's no core curriculum where you're headed. Life is one elective after another. And you may know where you're going, but the path by which you get there is definitely going to throw a few surprises in your way. It did for me. In fact, one of the most important life lessons that I learned came on a field just like this at Dartmouth College. When I entered Dartmouth in 1975, I expected to be their starting goalie for 4 years. And sport was my life in high school. I was not a very good student, but I loved sports. I loved soccer. And when I arrived, I didn't know that there'd be another freshman goalkeeper with that same expectation. And he didn't know that they had recruited me, and as most of you probably know, only one goalie can play. For 4 years, he and I battled each other, and at the time, he was definitely the winner, and I was the loser. He played about 3 years, I played about 1 year, but those lessons, the lessons of sport, prepared me as much for the twists and turns and hard knocks of life as anything else. 15 years later, after Stanford Law School, I was practicing law, and the opportunity to come to the United States Olympic Committee came to me. And I was inspired to be serving America's team, to be meeting young people from every state in the nation, pursuing their dreams, often with nothing more than a belief in their talents and the support of their family. And at the time I made that switch, it was an odd time in my life. I realized that the thing I enjoyed more than anything else was coming home on Friday afternoon a little bit early and mowing my lawn, because when I was done mowing the lawn, I could look over my shoulder and see that I had made something, not something very important, but at least something, a better place. I took a 40% pay cut to join the USOC as their general counsel, and then a series of crises and leadership changes opened a door that I had never expected. I became the acting chief executive officer in 2000, but just as quickly as that door opened, it closed. Because the board of directors, as part of a search process, selected somebody else to lead the USOC. And as the great television writer Aaron Sorkin once said, life's going to knock you down. It doesn't matter how many times, as long as you get back up, more than you are knocked down. I was disappointed, but I did get back up. My sport experience soon opened up another door. I became the chief operating officer of a company called Anschutz Entertainment Group, or AEG, in Los Angeles. AEG was a completely entrepreneurial environment, fast-paced, very high-pressured, with challenges and opportunities 24 hours a day. AEG develops and owns music festivals and produces worldwide concert tours like Coachella, New Orleans Jazz Fest, Paul McCartney's latest North American tour. We own 6 Major League Soccer teams. We own the Los Angeles Kings. We owned about 30% of the Lakers. And the company was run by a visionary and managed by some of the most talented executives in the business. And for 5 years, I thrived in Los Angeles, and I moved back with my family to Colorado because, as much as my wife and I love Los Angeles, it wasn't the ideal place for us to raise young kids. And when I came back to Colorado, I got a call that I never expected in 2009 to lead the USOC. Deep in my heart, I always had a longing to get back to the Olympic movement, to be part of the very best collection of athletes that our nation could assemble, and I'd like to tell you why. Most people think of the Olympic Games as the world's greatest sporting event, and they are that. 3.5 billion people, nearly 2/3 of the planet, tuned into the 2012 London Olympic Games. But the Games are much, much more than a sporting event. They bring our world together in its greatest single shared experience, a celebration of humanity that emphasizes the things we have in common, the good and noble aspirations shared by everyone, everywhere. As Juan Antonio Samaranch said when he was president of the International Olympic Committee, we pursue one ideal, that of bringing people together in peace, regardless of political or religious conviction, for the benefit of humanity. To achieve that lofty goal, the Olympic movement is active 365 days a year in more than 200 countries, instilling the values of excellence, friendship, and respect in young people everywhere. In a world divided in so many ways, constantly torn by ethnic strife, religious conflicts, terrorism, and war, the Olympic movement is a shining beacon of positive possibilities. And if you look at it on a global basis, you can only conclude that the Olympic movement is a positive force in an often negative world. The modern Olympics were launched by Baron Pierre de Coubertin, a French educational reformer who saw the potential of sport to serve our world as a platform for character-building education. And that brings me to why the USOC decided to put Boston forward as America's city for the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games. In Olympic bids, timing is everything. And right now, the International Olympic Committee is looking for a 2024 host city that can match its vision of a new model for the Games, a model with greater cost controls, measurable sustainability, and a legacy that serves and enhances the city and its citizens for decades after the flame goes out. When we look at Boston, we see a nearly perfect match. Boston is an extraordinary sports hub, both professionally and collegiately. And there are so many existing facilities, and the plan itself is so compact that it's walkable, which means that every international guest will have a chance to engage in Boston's city life in intimate ways. The plan is a green, sustainable plan that will serve as a catalyst to accelerate needed infrastructure improvements and leave thousands of new student apartments as a primary legacy of the Games. More importantly, with its unique concentrations of colleges and universities like Bentley, Boston has the intellectual power to help the Olympic movement rediscover that vital link between sport and education on which it was founded. Amid all the criticisms and controversy, the qualities and character of Boston's vision for the Olympics has nearly been lost, and that's a shame. While I completely agree that the important issues of financial risk and taxpayer exposure need to be answered and resolved to the city's satisfaction, to the satisfaction of the citizens of Boston, I'm confident that Boston will emerge from these discussions and debates stronger than ever, ready to compete against world-class cities like Paris, Rome, and Hamburg. Boston can be, and I believe it will be, a shining showcase of America at its best as we open our arms to welcome the world back to our shores in friendship and in peace in 2024. And I hope every one of you will come back for the Games with the family and friends who are standing behind you here today. Now, as you look to the future, you should be filled with optimism. Bentley has given you the skills to be leaders, to manage with creativity, to push for innovation, to stand on strong ethical grounds with social responsibility. The values this institution sought to cultivate in each of you, diversity, integrity, excellence, courage, and teamwork, are values we seek to instill in every single Olympian and Paralympian who represents our nation. They're a key part of the formula for success in life, professionally and personally, and they're among the guiding principles that will help you to make your choices, to choose right in life, and help you get back up when you've been knocked down. In the 1990s, I was looking for models of leadership to emulate. I began to study the career and philosophy of one of the most successful coaches America has ever produced. And I know that the philosophy professors in my life would cringe to know that I'm citing a basketball coach as a philosopher. But last month, you may have noted that Mike Krzyzewski of Duke won his 5th national championship. There's one man ahead of him. He's way ahead. His name is John Wooden, and he coached UCLA to 10 national championships, including 7 in a row between 1964 and 1975. And those titles came not only because of the discipline he instilled in his players, but because of the character he cultivated in them on and off the field of play. I found in his writings a set of ideals that have helped me through my career, and I want to share them with you. Number one was be more concerned with your character than with your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. You are all high performers. You're all going to feel the need to achieve, and at times you're going to grow impatient because the external signs of success aren't arriving fast enough. Wooden taught all of his players, and he taught me that there's a better measure of success for each of us. Success is the self-satisfaction of knowing that you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. You know, if we were all to run a race in this beautiful field, only one of us would win. But we can all be the best we can be. And your work and your career will be far more satisfying if you learn to apply that measure of success to everything you do. His final admonition was, talent is God-given, so be humble. Fame is man-given, so be grateful. Conceit is self-given, be careful. The best athletes I've met and the best leaders that I've worked with understand these truths. And let me leave you with one thought about the story of your life, a story that has reached a milestone on this day. Every member of Team USA I've met has a unique story, but every one of them shares a common thread. The stories always start with talent, but invariably involve family or friends or a coach who believed in them deeply and their ability. Every Olympian and Paralympian arrives at the moment of glory on the shoulders of an unknown team that has worked hard, provided advice, guidance, and every kind of material support required. I know that your story is woven with that same common thread. So as you leave Bentley today with your eyes fixed firmly on the future, don't forget to look back every now and then and thank all of those who loved you, believed in you, and helped you to get here to this day, a true milestone in your life. Be humble, be grateful, be careful. Thank you very much for this great honor, and best of luck.